The differences between the Wildcat fighter and the Hellcat fighter, both made by Grumman, are not really that much when you stop and look at the actual stats. Now, the FM2 version of the Grumman, made by Eastern Division of General Motors, separate factory to take over manufacturing of these aircraft, is not so much as the gap between the F4F Wildcat and the F6F Hellcat. Right? Condensing it all down on this chart, which you see here before you, the differences are that at 28,000 feet, the FM2 Wildcat has a maximum speed of 320 miles per hour. At 17,300 feet, the F6F Hellcat has a maximum speed of 376 miles per hour. The Hellcat is 56 miles an hour faster than the FM2 Wildcat. That's not a whole lot of difference. It's good, it's an edge, but it's not this impossibly big gap. The Wildcat here, in this case, the FM2 variant, is compatible. Also, something to note about the FM2 Wildcat over the F4F Wildcat, while the F4F was still being made by Grumman, it had a smaller tail fin. When Eastern Division of General Motors got a hold of it, they said, hey, we can improve its performance. We're going to add 2 feet of height to the tail fin because we're making bigger carriers with bigger hangars. We don't need to save space for storage. By adding 2 foot to the tail fin, we can add 1.5 foot to the rudder. Bigger rudder bites the air a little bit more, gives it better turning capabilities. There's an improvement. Now, the ceiling on these aircraft was 35,600 feet for the FM2 Wildcat and 38,400 feet for the F6F Hellcat. The Hellcat can fly at a higher altitude of approximately 2,800 feet more than the Wildcat. That's still not bad. You're still over 35,000 feet. Most of the Japanese aircraft, which these airplanes were encountering, were attacking from 20 to 30,000 feet. And the torpedo planes wouldn't even be that high. So, yes, the Hellcat does have a little bit of an advantage, but not that much of an advantage. The Wildcat is still competitive. There are some other differences in here, such as the flight times, flight distances, and the biggest difference here, though, is the size. The FM2 Wildcat is approximately 1/3 smaller than the F6F Hellcat. For every 3 Hellcats you could put aboard any given carrier of any size, you can get a 4th Wildcat on board. Myself, I'd like to have more planes on board for fighter defense. The difference in the wingspans here between the FM2 Wildcat and the F6F Hellcat works out to 4 feet 10 inches wide on the wingspan when they're folded out to flying condition, and a length of 4 feet 7 inches. If you're saving roughly 4 feet in all directions, yes, you can still get more aircraft on the flight deck ready to launch. This is always good. The FM2, being particularly nimble, is extremely good at intercepting torpedo bombers. Torpedo planes generally attack about 75 feet above the surface of the water. They're not up at 39,000 feet, so they don't need all that ceiling altitude. They have it. They can go up. A lot of times they can catch dive bombers, level bombers, and fighters. But for the mission that a lot of the fighters in the Pacific were tasked with doing, attacking torpedo planes, they really didn't need all that extra altitude. You know, a lot of these fights were going on at 10,000 feet or less. So, I don't see all the hate for the FM-2 Wildcat. It was a good fighter plane all through the war. It served all through World War II. And off and on, it's a good, rugged, maintainable fighter.